I've never had a video about Hannah Hidalgo yet, and I wanted to talk about Hannah Hidalgo. Also, maybe throw in some Olivia Miles because I did watch today's game that they had against NC State. It was a heck of a game overall in terms of excitement, the way it went. A huge, huge shot at the end of regulation by Sonia Citron, a contested three that tied the game at 84 with point 0.6 tenths of a second to go in that game to send it to overtime. Then nearly had the game end at the end of the first overtime as an air ball three from the corner was tipped to one of the Notre Dame players. She got fouled. She got fouled, but there were questions as to whether or not the foul came before the buzzer. I was at a sports bar watching the game, so I couldn't tell. I thought the foul came before the buzzer, but if it didn't, it didn't. But it was really, really close. And I'm glad the game did not happen to end that way because she would have had two free throws. Um, and that would have been a shitty way to end that type of game because it was so competitive, both ways. I thought the last probably for about 10 minutes, no one could make a stop, so that was Maddie Westbeld, like where she had the rebound, and I thought they got her right across the arm. It looked like a foul to me. I guess they said it came after the whistle. So I got after the buzzer. All that said, NC State knocks off number one Notre Dame 104-95 in double overtime. NC State was ranked 13th. This is the first win at home over a number one ranked team since 1978 for NC State. Only the fifth time they've beaten a number one ranked team. I mean, they posted that stat over and over and over again on the broadcast. But this game kind of exposed a few things, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I've watched Hannah Hidalgo play a bunch. I've seen her play. I think she's good. Maybe she's the best player in the country. Maybe she's not. I think the reality is there are a number of players that could be looked at as the best player in the country. But what it comes down to for me, and of course, welcome back everyone to another edition of Rudy's Rant. We talk facts and feelings. I'm Rudy Rodriguez Showmont, aka Rudy the Hammer. Let's just get right into it. What it comes down for me is what do you do when the game is on the line in a hostile situation? You are on the road, a full house at NC State. NC State's playing exceptionally well. um, Looking at the final numbers is surprising to me at 45.6% shooting by NC State to 41.2 because I didn't see the first half. Full disclosure, I saw the second half. Um, but what I did see was Zoe Brooks absolutely torched Notre Dame for NC State. She had 35 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 14 of 14 from the line. She absolutely torched them. And down in the final 5 minutes, it seemed like neither team could really get a stop. Defensively, there were issues, just both ways. Just awful, awful on the ball defense. It wasn't exciting game. Yes, defensively, it was atrocious. And I'm gonna put that on everybody because I thought the defense from everybody was really bad. I'm talking about you're stiff, you're not, knees aren't bent, your hands aren't up, your hands aren't out, you're not shuffling, you're letting the person get there. I mean, I've never seen so many blow-bys in a women's game in my life. Like blow-bys without a screen. I've been waiting for that for weeks in the Unrivaled League, like blow-bys, and I can't find a blow-by here. There's no blow-bys in the Unrivaled. I watched people getting blown by. I mean, pretty much every possession in the final 5 minutes and into overtime, just blow by left and right. Um, Hannah Hidalgo finished with 26 points. She took 26 shots. She was 8 of 26, 2 of 7 from 3. She was terrible, like flat out terrible. Olivia Miles wasn't much better. 22 points on 23 shots, 9 of 23, 4 of 13 from 3-point range. No free throw attempts, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Sonia Citron played a really, really good game. 23 points, 11 of 18, 7 boards, 3 assists. And Liatu King had 16 points, again, 18 shots. They had 10 free throws. All 10 were by Hannah Hidalgo. I don't know what that says. I don't know what it says because like I said, the defense wasn't good. The defense wasn't good. But Hannah Hidalgo, while she might be viewed as the best player in the country by a lot of people, there are a lot of holes. There's a lot of holes to her game. Look, she's great. She's really good. She's really good. She's 5'6", and it was exposed today. Every time she went to the rim, they were waiting for her. Her shot got blocked over and over again. She doesn't utilize a floater. She goes up like this, where she should be going up with a floater. The same floater that many of us have been talking about Caitlin Clark needs to bring her game to that next level. I didn't see Hannah Hidalgo go up with a floater at all in the second half that I can remember. Definitely not in those final 10 minutes. From the 5-minute mark of regulation to the end of the first overtime, I cannot remember her going up with the floater. I remember her having her shit swatted at the rim over and over again. Olivia Miles got to the basket a few times. She was all right, but she couldn't hit a perimeter shot for the most part. And and just defensively, I don't know how to explain it, but I'll stand up and I'll try to show it. Hannah Hidalgo is just like standing like this, and then she's just flipping her legs like this, and she's doing really nothing with that. I don't know what she's doing that for, but all it did was give the ball handler a lane to the basket. She was trailing every single time. Blew by them. You're 5'6". Why are they blowing by you? You should be quicker than them. That's literally the biggest advantage you got is that you're 5'6". You should be quicker than these other girls. And they were just blowing by her left and right. Olivia Miles, blown by left and right. Defensively, I'll even sit here and say the girl that so many people say is such a great defensive player, Sonia Citron, blown by. In the last 10 minutes, when I say the defense was atrocious, it was atrocious. And look, other way around, NC State's defense wasn't any better for 10 minutes. It got better in that second overtime, which is what allowed them to separate. Some people are complaining about the foul that fouled Hidalgo out. It didn't matter. They were down 9 with a minute to go at that point. Game was over. Game was over when she fouled out. Like we have to relax a little bit because when she fouled out, I'll tell you exactly when she fouled out. What was the score? Foul. It was a 192. They're up down 8 with 59 seconds left. Game was done. Like I don't want to hear about whine. I don't want to hear whining about how about her fouling out at that point because the game was done. The game was back and forth in the fourth quarter. I mean, when I say bad defense, I mean really bad defense. The fourth quarter was 27-26. It was just trash. Trash defense in the fourth quarter. That's a lot of points in 10 minutes for women's basketball. That's a lot of points. You know, if you look at the fourth quarter to overtime, you can go look at, Hidalgo had a couple of free throws at the six and change. She misses a three. She misses a layup. She made a layup at the 4 minutes. She misses a three. She misses a jumper. It was a lot of bricks. Like I said, I mean, a lot of misses and block shots. What else here? She commits a foul that gives them 2 free throws after Sonia Citron gives them a lead. And Zoe Brooks hits both free throws. Hidalgo hits a couple of free throws. Then she turns the ball over. It wasn't pretty. It just wasn't pretty. Then she commits another foul that was intentional take, but she gave it on Zoe Brooks, who was hitting all her free throws. Now they're down 3. Realistically, she stunk up the fourth quarter for the most part. And then you go into overtime. And in overtime, I'm looking at the first overtime really, because the second overtime, yeah, she misses a jumper. Yeah, this is your best player, and she took 1 shot in overtime. Like, that's not gonna cut it. She disappeared. She literally disappeared. In the second overtime, missed a layup. Let me see. Missed a layup again. Then she fouls out. She took 2 shots in the second overtime, and she missed both shots. I'm gonna sit here. I don't remember if they were blocked shots, because I watched her shot get blocked over and over again. I watched her try to go up like this rather than use a floater. And I think that's a part of her game that she's got. If she has it, I didn't see it. If she has it, I didn't see it. And I thought that her game today was pretty awful. But defensively is where I thought she really looked brutal. She was getting dusted over and over and over again. In the meantime, looking at like I said, Olivia Miles wasn't much better overall. I'm not gonna go through her box, because this really isn't about her. Again, they're both great players, but I mean, again, we grade on a curve when it comes to women's basketball. They're both really good players, and Hidalgo shoots almost 50%. So for her to shoot 8 of 26, like, that's utterly horrendous. I mean, you're talking about 30%, 30.8% from the field. That's tragically bad. And in a game like this is where you have to elevate. You can't disappear. And she disappeared. She flat out disappeared in this game. So they lost. Obviously, they're going to drop now in the rankings. USC will probably be ranked number 1 when the next poll drops. No, maybe not. Maybe it's Texas. Because UCLA did beat Iowa today by 2, which I thought was a tragedy of an ending right there. Texas could be number 1, or USC could be number 1. Wouldn't shock me if SC just jump over UCLA in the rankings. I wouldn't be surprised. But overall, I thought that was a very disappointing performance by Hannah Hidalgo. I think she has a lot of stuff to work on defensively, especially. Like, her defense has got to get better. It's got to be better. It cannot look like it looked today, because I thought defensively she looked like she didn't know what to do at times. She just looked like she was playing. I don't know what it was with the bouncing around. Just get in a good defensive stance and shuffle your freaking feet. I don't know what that was, but it wasn't good. And again, they all got blown by. It was bananas watching them be blown by over and over again. Like, for example, if you look at in the fourth, Zoe Brooks layup, Zoe Brooks jumper, Zoe Brooks layup, Zoe Brooks free throws, 2 free throws, Zoe Brooks 2 more free throws. That's 10. Zoe Brooks 2 more. That's 12. 14. Zoe Brooks had 14 points in the fourth quarter. She lived at the free throw line. You go into overtime, Zoe Brooks again. That's 16. That was it pretty much. There was very little scoring in the first overtime overall. And then if you go into the second overtime, Zoe Brooks, that's 18. So she had 18, 20. She had 20 of her 30, what was it, 35? Waiting for the box score to repopulate, of course. Now the box doesn't want to open up. She had 20 of her 33 in the fourth and the overtimes. Like she took the game over. That was what I was waiting to see Hannah Hidalgo do, and I didn't see it. So we'll see what happens next game. I'm sure it'll be better, but she has got to work on these things. She has to work on specifically playing defense, because defense, she's already small. She's 5'6". She's gonna get abused. She has to use her feet. She cannot use her hands. She has to use her feet. I mean, both she and Olivia Miles both fouled out. But she's got to use her feet. I mean, right now, I was a 21-9 foul count, but they were fouling. They were fouling, and overall, and you got to shuffle your feet. You've got to move. You cannot use your hands. You cannot reach. But I think she also offensively has to work on a floater, because WNBA wise, it won't work going up like this against trees. It just won't work. If you watched the game, let me know what you thought of it. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the defense. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on how she played and how they played as a whole. I thought Sonia Citron looked good. She looked good. But even she struggled defensively at times. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side. This is Rudy's Rant. Come on now.